Okay, so if you want to know what are the three best beginner-friendly battleship line in World of Warships that you should definitely grind and play right now to make yourself as a very good battleship player. And also, one thing that I would like to tell you that these are not super gimmicky battleships. We have tons of battleship in World of Warships, and some people might get confused that what are the gimmicks of these battleship? Are they worthy to play? Are they according to my playstyle? Are they something that I will play and be able to do good for that particular game? Well, this answer will be definitely is going to be in the video. So you watch these three battleships and the reasons why I would recommend you guys that you should play these three battleship lines. They are pretty much worthy and they have uniqueness and the quality that can help you improve in the game and become a better player in World of Warships. So let's talk about our number first and the best beginner friendly line, and that is going to be the American Montana. Now, I would say Montana does not have any strings attached to it. In fact, it does not have overmatch. If you are a newer player, you might not know the overmatch, or you might be understanding what is overmatch, but it is simply that you can just able to shoot at the battleship on the bow or the cruiser at the bow, and you simply penetrate without any ricochet whatsoever. So you will just get full pen damage. Well, that's not the case in the Montana. Unlike Yamato, which you might heard if you are playing World of Warship, that, I mean, it's a World War II, very, very interesting, very, very renowned battleship, but we are not going to be talking about that, but we are going to talk about the Montana. Now, Montana is very tanky. It does have a citadel if you are not angled, which will help you learn that, well, you have to be angled, to be honest, but that's simple as that. And you have the guns that does not have overmatch. You have 406mm guns. They will simply do really well against broadside cruisers and battleship if you aim well. So the aiming and also playing Montana will make you a better battleship player. As long as you are playing Montana and as long as you are improving your play style in Montana, you will definitely going to get a better battleship player. And also, it's simple. It's straightforward. It does not have anything that's just going to make you think, oh, I should have used that gimmick that battleship comes up with. Well, that's not the case. You just shoot AP, and even you can shoot HE if a battleship is bowing in because there is no overmatch, just like I said before. You do have the HP, you do have the good torpedo protection, you do have anti-defense, even though I'm not going to talk about that much in detail. But however, I can say one thing, that if you do use the fighter plane instead of spotter, well, you can, with this entire, somehow manage to do somewhat well against carriers. Although, if you are a newer player, you will eventually find out that the carriers at tier 10 can be pretty devastating, which is unfortunate reality of this game because that is a really powerful class. But, well, that's kind of the case in World War II as well. I mean, if you know the Yamato, it got died by the plane, so that's exactly like that in World of Warships. But let's just take a look at the maneuverability. It does not have the really good maneuverability at all. So if you have mispositioned yourself and you want to turn out, it will definitely gonna tell you that you have done a big mistake because that insane rudder shift time will definitely gonna kick in and remind you that you have played bad. Your concealment is also okay. It's not special. It's not gimmicky, just like I said. So it's basically a all-round good battleship. And you shoot guns. You have decent dispersion. You have really good shell, shell amount. You have 12 guns. You cannot go wrong with Montana. I would say even the armor. If I take a look at the armor, if you are thinking of getting overmatched by some of these Japanese battleships like Yamato, Shikishima, well, you have 38mm deck armor and side armor. So you can really learn a lot and try to not get overmatched, and you just able to understand the mechanics of playing battleships in general by playing Montana, and you will just learn a whole lot. Also, you do have the heals, powerful heals, not like super heals that you find as a gimmick on like the ship like Conquer or the San Vincent. Neither they don't have really good cooldown time. Like it has 80 seconds of cooldown time, which gonna make you patient about pushing. Like if you want to push in the Montana, you can definitely do that. It's an all-round battleship. But again, patience is the key, and it does not have the heals like you find on Vermont that has like very fast cooldown time of 40 seconds. Again, that is a gimmick in Vermont, but it's not the case in Montana. So it does not have any gimmick except really good guns with good dispersion, good penetration, but not like super insane penetration that you find on some battleship at tier 10. So it's just gonna help you learn patience. It's gonna help you learn a lot of the characteristics that battleships tends to have, and also gonna help you a lot in late games. If you're able to survive long enough, Montana is definitely for you. A decent beginner-friendly line. It's a ship that from even lower tiers, you will definitely gonna understand the shell velocity. The shells are not super fast, which is also really good so that you can able to understand the aiming system of the World of Warships. So with that said, this battleship is definitely worthy. Now, this is one category. This is an all-round battleship. Now, I want to take you guys have a look at the battleship that is more of a sniper. So if you want to play at long ranges and if you want to snipe the enemies and you're still going to have some special ability, I think the Yamato, again, just like Montana, it's one of the older line in this game. Also gonna help you a lot to learn how to aim, and also it's definitely one step up in gun performance because it now has overmatch not only against cruisers, unlike Montana, it also have overmatch against battleships. So you can just simply straight away pen them from the bow. The battleship's bow can be penned even if they are angled, and that is what we call overmatch. So overmatch is there. You have really good reload time. You have 2.1 sigma. If you don't know about the sigma basically is that the tighter grouping, or I would say the tighter group shells that will be coming out of these turrets because of the higher sigma value. So Yamato does come up with very, very good sigma value, and this is the reason why it gets sniper level of dispersion. So with this decent dispersion overall, with these overmatchable guns, you can definitely caught many battleships off guard at long ranges, and even Dev Strike cruisers with this dispersion, which you are getting with 2.1 sigma. So Yamato at long ranges will perform really well. Also, if you want to understand the tanking power of the battleships at long range in general, your survivability definitely comes well. You have decent HP, slightly better than even Montana, one of the best torpedo protection at tier 10, and also, by the way, a lot better deck armor compared to Montana. So this 57mm deck armor, that's going to be resistant to many cruisers' HE shells, almost all cruisers' HE shells in the game. And battleships also going to be struggling to do damage except onto this tiny superstructure. So if you are angled at long ranges, you can be pretty well. If you stay spotted, and if there's a DD, and if you're just bowing in, then it's going to be a problem. Otherwise, you can tank really well. This 57mm deck, even the backside, you also have really good 50mm deck armor. That's going to shatter a lot of cruiser shells. However, what's wrong with this battleship is going to be if you playing it in medium range, unlike Montana. Like Montana, you can play it at medium ranges and even close ranges. Okay, if you are staying angled, Montana will do just well. But in the case of Yamato, it's a very specifically long-range sniper. You cannot push in this, okay? Most of the time, you can only push in extremely late game situation where there's a battleship that is just, bowing in towards you. You just want to tank that or something like that. Or maybe the cruiser that you want to push. Then in late games, you can do that. Otherwise, this armor is very vulnerable. It's worse than Montana because it's going to take huge damage. It does have this weird sort of cheek, if you don't know, and it can take huge damage. I mean, even battleships from this area, from this side, can actually able to citadel you, which can do a lot of damage. So Yamato is not a brawler, nor it's a medium-range battleship. It's mostly around fighting further than 15 kilometers. If you are 15 kilometers away from ships, that's the really ideal area of the Yamato. 15 kilometer and under 24 kilometer. Pretty good area. Montana is basically like, I would say, 8 kilometer to maybe like 20 kilometer. Okay, so it's more focused at long ranges. So if you play it well, you will be doing really nice with the aiming. And you will definitely gonna be having more good time because it's a World War II battleship as well. It was a realistic battleship. It actually got sunk, so it will definitely gonna make you incentivize more to grind this. So I would say this is relatively a beginner-friendly line unless you are pushing it crazy, which I think you should not do that. I think there is one line specifically for that, which I will be explaining in the third number. But Yamato is very, very powerful, very decent, very relevant, and very sort of player beginner friendly in my opinion. Okay, now we are going to take a look at the third category. Now it's not exactly, I would say, a simple no gimmick battleship. Now in the case of Libertad, this is by the way the newest tier 10 battleship line. Wargaming has recently released that, but I would say for the brawling purposes, which means that you are going to play this more in medium to close ranges, around 15 kilometer to 5-6 kilometer. You can do even close range if you want to. But I mean medium ranges where the secondaries that you have like what 12.5 kilometer, you have to use these secondaries. Now the guns are pretty good, basically like Montana. It has slightly worse sort of accuracy compared to Montana, but what really comes with Libertad is the brawling capability. You actually has the armor that's not gonna get Citadel most of the time. It's a bit unique armor, I would say. I mean, and you have really tanky armor like 51 millimeter deck. So definitely a step up after the Montana and even the Yamato. And also in terms of the Citadel, it's kind of very difficult to be, able to get Citadel in this ship. Like it's pretty weird. As a brawler, you might expect this ship to get Citadel, but it does not. The only thing that Yamato does, and Yamato specifically does, it can overmatch you from this nose. Because remember, Yamato does have like vulnerable, you are vulnerable to Yamato because of that 32 millimeter overmatch, and if she shoots here, that's where Libertad can be Citadel. But most of the time, if anyone shoots you at medium ranges, not super close ranges, you are not going to get Citadel, okay? Which is really fantastic, I would say, for a brawler. And really good guns, just like Montana, 12 guns, so you just aim well, you will be getting rewarded. Slightly worse in accuracy, but still worth it. Again, because of the brawling capability, you have less firing range. You have decent concealment if you build it. You have decent speed if you build it. Basically, Montana levels. But the secondary is the star of the show. And this will help you to rack up tons of damage because back then when Libertad got released, it used to have insane acceleration parameters. Like, it still has some acceleration parameter. Like, it's unlike other battleships. You can accelerate relatively quickly in this battleship, believe it or not. So you are kind of like fast in acceleration regard. So that's the gimmick that you would say that it has on Libertad. But it's very player, I think, beginner sort of friendly. Like, you have the heals, like 80 seconds of cooldown heals like you find on Montana and Yamato. This has a 60 seconds of cooldown time, which does help a lot in brawling. I think there is not a whole lot of brawlers that has like really good cooldown time like in this case. Like even there is another brawler like Preußen, which is the German brawler, which even has like 80 seconds of cooldown time. So Libertad definitely comes into the advantage. However, what makes it even better is this combat instruction. Now this is a gimmick, okay? And I think the way to use this gimmick is pretty simple. Once you get the green key loaded, you can just read this combat instruction. I think they are not difficult to understand. Like, they're not difficult. You can easily understand them. You can improve your secondary range. You can improve your secondary load time and even damage if you use it for 30 seconds. If you get the F key ready by shooting the shells onto the enemy ships, you can get value with the Libertad. So I think it's a good battleship for these reasons, okay? It's a good brawler. It's one of the best brawler, I would say. That's the reason why, even though it does have gimmicks, but I mean, brawler in 2025 needs to have a gimmick in order to make it work in pushing, because you will find out that pushing is absolutely ridiculously difficult, and you have to play a lot of games to understand how to push, when to push, and what's the situation that's gonna give me a lot of favor, then I can push. So you will over time understand what I'm saying. That's why Libertad, you should definitely grind this. I think these three ships are amazing for sure. Montana, Yamato, and Libertad. Now it's Totally up to you that if you want to grind other battleships, but I would say these are pretty much my top 3 beginner friendly lines for battleship class in World of Warships. Please let me know in the comments if you are a newer player. And by the way, I have to thank to the Patreon members because now we started to have some memberships. I would like to credit for what they are doing and helping me directly support. At the end, I would say the special thank to my Patreon member. He's only the one guy that has started to directly support me through this platform. Adam, I really appreciate what you're doing to me, and please join my Discord as fast as possible. Meanwhile, if you also want to become the Patreon member and if you want to help me directly support, you can definitely do that. And also, there is a dedicated Discord channel that I made for you guys so that you can join and ask tons of questions if you want to. The other members of this Discord can definitely help you guys, and I also will try to make sure that I might answer as well as much as possible. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you like this whole video, and if you find these beginner friendly battleship lines useful or something that just help you a lot, please let me know in the comments, and thank you.